Hi everyone and welcome back to our series on Earth, Wind, Fire and Water. My name's John and this is Esther, and today we are trying to find some wind. But we're also going to be talking a bit more about wind, aren't we?
We are. We really wanted to fly our kite today, but it doesn't want to go. Now wind can get a bit of a bad rep. It can mess your hair up like it's messing mine up. It can, if you're kayaking, it can capsize your boat. It can even knock you over if it's strong enough. But today we're going to chat to someone who loves the wind and relies on it to do something he really enjoys. And that's our brother-in-law, Nick, isn't it, John?
It is, yeah. But before we hear from Nick, we are going to listen to a song, aren't we? And we shall see you after this. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello everybody, my name's Nick Bubb and I'm a paraglider pilot, and I've been flying paragliders for 18 years, and in that time I've done over 2,500 flights and spent over 900 hours in the air flying. Paragliding right now is the closest that man can come to flying free like a bird using nothing but the upcurrents of the air. And essentially a paraglider, if you imagine it, is like a huge kite, and that kite inflates full of air and creates a solid structure, and that structure is in the shape of a bird's wing, so it's designed on nature. And then we use that structure, that paraglider, and we sit on a harness underneath it, and we use that paraglider to surf the upcurrents of air, which are called thermals, and we use those to fly freely like a bird. Well, my earliest memory as a child, when I was in primary school, was lying on my back in the playing field. I was about 4 or 5 years of age, watching a bird circling above me, which I now know that bird was using a thermal to climb and to rise into the air. And I was absolutely fascinated by that, and it was at that moment that my sort of passion and my love for flying started. And I was lucky to grow up on a seaside town, and I used to watch on the weekends the birds, the seagulls soaring along the promenade, soaring along the hotels and bed and breakfast buildings, of which I now know that they were using the wind that was blowing in off the sea and being deflected off the buildings, and they were soaring up and down in that. And now every time that I go paragliding, I'm reliving that childhood dream, and that's one of the reasons why I love it. Outside of the fact that free flying like a bird is just such a magical experience, to see the world from a true bird's eye view is fascinating. And also, paragliding is a continuous chase for the right conditions and the right winds, and I've travelled all around the country, everywhere, to find the right winds, and I've therefore discovered this beautiful country. The United Kingdom, where we live, is absolutely beautiful. And finally, it's the people I've met on that journey. Over those 18 years, paragliding has brought me to people I would have never met in my profession, such as fighter pilots from the Royal Air Force, or surgeons for the National Health Service, to carpenters and roofers, from all walks of life coming together for a common goal. And I've made some of the best friends, lifelong friends, that I've ever made through paragliding. The window of opportunity for paragliding is actually very, very narrow. You don't want winds too strong and you don't want winds too light. So winds over 18 miles an hour are too strong, and winds below 12 miles an hour are too light. There's not enough power in the wind below 12 miles an hour to keep you up. And if over 18 miles an hour, there's too much power in the wind to keep the glider safely flying above your head. It's the simplest way to explain it. So you've got a 6 miles an hour window. So providing it's within those boundaries, that's what you need. And then from a direction, we can fly in winds in any direction around the compass, from north, east, south to west, and anything in between. What we do is we just look at the wind direction and find a mountain or a hill that's facing into the wind forecasted for that day. So we're looking for the direction to choose the right site, and we're also looking for that wind speed between 12 and 18 miles an hour, so that we can go out and enjoy a safe flight. Paragliding is a balance between fear and fun all the time. So fun is an emotion. When you're having fun, you smile, you can see that you're having fun, and people around you will smile with you. Fear I see as an emotion inside. It's your body's defense mechanism keeping you safe. So paragliding is a balance between fear and fun all the time. So when you're flying, conditions can change, and when they change, that can bring on fear. And what you need to do as a pilot is manage that fear and ask yourself, are conditions still safe to fly? Are you moving forwards? Is your ground speed good? Are you climbing or sinking within safe parameters? And if the answer to those questions during your flight is yes, I'm able to override that fear and go back to fun. But if fear becomes too much, and now I have quite a low threshold of fear, and if the fear becomes too much, then that's a signal to me that conditions are changing, and I'll land and end the flight. So does something I love bring me fear? Absolutely it does. It's just a balance between fear and fun. So thank you very much for listening to me to speak about my passion, which is paragliding. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your day.
When Nick talked about fear and fun, it made me think about my life as a Christian, because so often I felt God saying to me, I want you to do something, whatever it is. And often I think, well, I can't do that. That's too scary for me. And then I have to trust God, and I have to go and do it, even though I don't know if I can do it. And it's like putting your foot out off a cliff into thin air and hoping that you're not going to fall. And do you know what? When it's something that God's told me to do, I have never fallen. I've always felt that He helps me to fly. And it's an amazing feeling that faith comes together with the fun and the fear.
and it creates an amazing experience that I would never have had if I just stayed on the cliff. Now, I'm not recommending you jump off a cliff, but I am saying that when you put your trust in God, amazing things can happen.
So we hope you've enjoyed our time together today. I'm going to go back to fly my kite. Whoa!
Whoa, I guess it's up to me to say goodbye. John's getting carried away right now. Bye.